Hey, what's up, guys? Jeff here. I'm getting a little slicky, and want to talk about a little film, tiny film, very small, called Five Across the Eyes, which, put simply, it's a horror film. It's a no budget horror film. Most people say low budget. This is no budget. No budget. Okay. This was made by asking your parents for $20 or something. This is a no budget horror film about uh, like five girls that are traveling through like some country, woods, roads, and on their way after after like a football game they're lost and getting chased by a maniac fucking lady. Oh, I'm sorry if that's a spoiler. That's probably the only thing you could spoil about this movie is the maniac that's chasing them is a lady. And that's it. That's what this movie is. And it's pretty much when I say no budget, I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. I don't think I've seen a movie with this low of production values ever. I made a fucking film for like a project for a video editing course in college, and it was better looking and better edited than this. And I don't know how to edit. I don't know how to do anything. Look at my see this video here. This video you're watching right now, or any video on my channel. This is probably the only thing that's worse than Five Across the Eyes in terms of production value and quality. Actually, though, the sound quality is probably better on my video because you can actually hear what the fuck I'm saying. This film is basically if you ever saw a really, really bad porn with really bad production values, this is it. Except instead of you're watching sex, you're watching these five high school girls being terrorized and brutalized for an hour and a half by a crazy lady who, according to Wikipedia, she thinks that that's because her. She thinks. Hold on. The driver thinking. The driver continues to pursue them throughout the film and perform several violent and sexual acts on them. Uh, I'm pretty sure, like she thought. I don't know where I read this thing because I don't see it here. Like they ruined. Like she's like I guess ranting about how these girls ruined her marriage or something. And this is just something I thought I read somewhere. Um, but I probably not. Maybe not because I don't see it here in the Wikipedia of it. Regardless, the maniac, killer, psycho lady is not explained at all. She's just a psychotic killer who's like dressed all fucking like business style, like she's about to go to a fucking meeting, and like I can't describe how bad this movie is. Like from just the look of it. Okay, the look, the sound, the acting. Like we're talking low, no, not low, no budget porn, like terrible porn. The editing is like literally, like I said, this fucking film I made for a video editing class was better than this. There's like you can't hear what the characters are saying. I couldn't, anyways, and I was watching it on Netflix. Which, by the way, this is available on Netflix. So if this interests you, like check it out. But I mean, if you're a horror fan, this might sound like pretty typical. But depending on how it's done, it could be worth checking out or not. But it's five girls on the road getting chased by a maniac. They basically stop at a convenience store. They're dicking around with their friends trying to get back in the car. Like people, they do that in movies a lot. I don't really see it done in real life a lot, where like you'll pull up a couple feet and stop. Okay, get in. You pull up a couple feet and stop. Okay, get in. They accidentally hit a car, and then they get scared about it. And they drive off because they don't want to get in trouble. And then this crazy lady's chasing them down. And it's never made clear whether that was the car that they hit is the crazy lady, but I'm assuming it is because she has one headlight out, and because of something that happens at the end, which I can't believe I'm going to avoid spoilers on this, but I can't point to a single thing in this that's redeeming at all. There's nothing there's nothing you could go, well, that was kind of good at least. It's bad dialogue, bad editing, bad video picture quality, cinematography, if you'd even call it that, which you wouldn't. Um, bad, bad makeup and special effects. There is no special effects. It's like someone fucking. It's not even fake blood. It looks like they're fucking using. Like they spit some fucking Kool Aid out of their mouth or something. Um, just terrible all around. You've seen a bad portal before, right? The acting in it and like the way it looks. This is exactly that. You don't believe me? You got Netflix? Go turn on Five Across the Eyes, and within the first 5 minutes, come back here, leave a comment, tell me if I was fucking wrong. Oh, yeah, at Five Across the Eyes, I guess it's like the five girls, and it's like some area called the Eyes. And I don't know if it was in Tennessee, but this was shot in Tennessee. I don't know much else about it other than that. Um, Honestly, it's probably just a couple guys like decided to make this, and somehow it got released. Like somehow they worked it that it got released. But if there was a budget beyond like maximum $1,000 for this movie, I would be amazed. There's no lighting. There's nothing done into this movie. Like this is like a lot of people say, oh, I could have gone and shot the Blair Witch myself. I remember when that came out, I was like, oh, anybody could make that. You go out in the woods, put some sticks and stones together. Anyone could do that. And it's like, one, you didn't. Two, you didn't have the idea. Three, you probably couldn't. Because despite what you think, there is some artistry going on behind the Blair Witch Project. You have actually a good cast of actors. I thought the actors were very good in it. You have good writing, even though most of it wasn't written, but it was planned out. There are certain moments and arcs and stuff that were supposed to happen. There's creepiness to it. There's unsettling, not music. I don't think there's any music in it, but like it's been a while since I've seen it. But I'm sure there's like some sound effects here and there. That sounds kind of like music, I think. But you have heart and characters, and it actually does look good compared to this. This looks like a fucking great film. This looks like a fucking Coen Brothers. Rare Wish looks like a Coen Brothers film next to this fucking Five Across the Eyes. And there's nothing to it. That's it. They get brutalized by this woman over and over. She keeps on like somehow stopping them. It's hard to tell because you can't really tell what's going on because the camera work and the editing is so terrible. Like literally, and like if they want to signify like that the lady's like coming up and like ramming them from behind with her car, like the person will just shake the camera a little bit and everyone will act like they're kind of getting shook. Or like there's one part where like this girl is like in the trunk or something. She's like all freaking out and like they just start spinning the camera around. Like literally, like if you took the camera and we're just like, woo, like this is supposed to be disorienting. Like what the fuck? Just it's so terrible. Like That's the thing. Like they're trying to do like this road horror movie where like most of it has like a lot of action in it, but they don't have the budget or anything to do this action. That's a big problem with it. That like you're trying to get these girls that are getting chased down by some lady, but you have zero budget. Like you're fucking literally. It's like if I took a fucking phone and turned on the camera on it and was recording shit and trying to edit it from that, like, and there's no budget, and you're like, we have to make this action scene where these girls are getting chased down by this lady. Literally, that is what it's like. That's a big problem with it. The Blair Witch, I mean, it looks a billion times better than this, but it also works better because it's not an action horror movie. It's they rely on the creepiness of being alone in the woods instead of getting chased in a car because they know they couldn't do a chase fucking sequence. You get what I'm saying? Um, there's what can I say? Bad everything, and it's the same thing going over and over for 90 fucking minutes. I watched it in morbid fascination, like maybe there's something in here. There's nothing in there at all. Like they try to develop the girl characters that a little bit here and there, like oh, I just want to say I'm sorry I did this because of this and that. But I didn't understand what they were saying because I couldn't hear what they were saying because the fucking audio was so bad. Like they try to develop them as they go along, which I really appreciate in horror movies. Like it's what I love about the Blair Witch Project. Project. That's what I love about Frozen. But here it's just like there's nothing. There's like a scene or two where they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry I did that to you, so and so, because whatever," and I couldn't hear it, so it didn't matter. The villain isn't really explained. She keeps coming after them until the ending happens, and you could figure out the ending. I'm sure. Um, so that's it. It's a shit movie all around, but it's not even a movie. Like this is something that someone did for fun with their friends with a camera or something. And you're like, how the fuck did this ever get released? Like, how is this of all like? How is this taking up server space or whatever on Netflix? Like, this is ridiculous. And the reason I checked it out, honestly, is because Rambo Wrath for Life, as he goes by on YouTube, which is, I've mentioned him before, but he's like a reviewer, commentator, critic, whatever you want to call him on YouTube, who I enjoy his videos. Like, that's what got me into doing this. And I respect his opinion. And he was like, everyone hates on this movie, but I don't hate it. And he's like often one of these people that go against like what most people think. And but I was just like, all right, I'll check it out, right? But yeah, I don't hate it because like to me to hate this movie would it's like hating a fucking I don't know like a handicapped child. How could you hate it? It's not even what it wants to be. Like you could hate an asshole, but you can't hate you get what I'm saying? It's like this isn't even on like it's not even on the same playing field as most movies. How could you fucking hate it? It's just you're just like baffled that it ever got released. And then he was like kind of defending it that he's like, "Oh, the acting's bad and it's a lot of screaming and the girl's screaming." And to me, that's like the only time that like they were somewhat convincing is when they're just like, "Ah!" Anyone could do that. That's not acting. There's moments at the beginning, there's no excusing the beginning when they're like doing total porno acting, like, "Hey, what would you like to do today?" Like, you're just like, "What the fuck? Could you even try to act?" I mean, they don't come off as natural at all, ever. Yeah, when they're screaming and shit, who couldn't run around screaming scared? It's probably the easiest fucking thing to do. So, anyways, I've gone on for 15 minutes, about five across the eyes. Dear God. I don't know why, because there's not even 15 minutes worth of shit to talk about that movie. Um, but I'm probably piqued your curiosity here. So go on Netflix, turn it on, watch it for 5 minutes. Trust me, you've seen everything there is to see in this movie. Um, no offense to Rambo Raff, he's a cool fucking dude, but yeah, I gotta disagree with you here, buddy.